Ebenholz is a 6-star mystic caster. He was first available in the Dissonanzen banner during the Lingering Echoes event alongside Hibiscus the Purifier, and is currently available through standard headhunting. Ebenholz, real name and title Graf Franz von Erdeke, has no combat experience whatsoever, likely due to being a commoner and a musician. He stands 173 centimeters tall, was born on the 5th of June in Lothian, is a distant relative of the Mad Witch King of Lothian, and is of the Capernae race, specifically a Markhor. In his archive files and promotion record, it's noted that Ebenholz is a seemingly aloof Capernae young man who politely answers questions but cuts small talk short. Only a few, like the Doctor, can get him to open up, revealing a thoughtful yet somber opinion. Known for his musical talent, he plays the cello with haunting sorrow, stirring memories of the past, though rumors persist about his unseen skill with the flute. Ebenholz was officially described as a music and original arts student from Weisheim who withdrew due to oropathy and sought treatment at Rhodes Island. However, the truth is far more complex. He was actually Graf Erdeke, a noble from a decaying town with ties to the Witch King's lineage. Raised under a guardian's strict rule, Ebenholz received a noble's education, though his music teacher's praise turned to scorn after learning his origins. Despite the burdens of heritage, music remained a rare source of genuine affirmation for him. During Lothian's regime change, Ebenholz's parents were killed due to their distant ties to the Witch King. Rescued by the extremist Witch King's remains, he was forcibly implanted with the voice of Terra, a mysterious melody linked to his talent in music and original arts, causing him debilitating headaches. Medical examinations have failed to explain its nature, though Ebenholz describes it as a powerful melody capable of consuming him entirely. Despite his efforts to prevent it from overwhelming him, he remains reluctant to speak further about the ordeal. When Ebenholz first arrived at Rhodes Island, he was quiet and distant, often spacing out while gazing at his cello. However, after a successful mission rescuing children from a corrupt orphanage, where his skills proved crucial, he began to change. He became more open, engaging with others and learning about Rhodes Island, though his frank assessments remained reserved for a select few. He even joined a book club and exchanged emails with operators. Notably, Ebenholz no longer stares at his cello in silence, he now plays it, humming as if conversing with an old friend. Eben is confirmed to be infected. He has a cell originum assimilation of 5% and a blood originum crystal density of 0.22 parts per liter. The notes in his medical file state that he did not receive prompt treatment upon his infection, but the spread is currently controlled. In his character art, drawn by Ryuzaki Ichi, Eben wears a black high-collared shirt with white neck ruffle that has a purple jewel in it. Underneath a black suit vest and double-breasted suit jacket, black dress pants with black dress shoes, 2 white belts across his waist, white epaulets on his shoulders, scabbard to his right, and a black cloak that is falling off of his shoulders. He holds his conductor's wand in his right hand and has some arts conjuring in his left. In his voice lines, voiced by Ryota Osaka, who also voices Marco Bot in Attack on Titan, Valley Lucifer in High School DD, Mark in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Sadao Mao in The Devil is a Part-Timer, Kanzai in Hunter x Hunter, Ryota Watari in Your Lie in April, Yuma Isugai in Assassination Classroom, Hash Midi in Iron-Blooded Orphans, Seke Bronzaza in Black Clover, Yosuke Hirata in Classroom of the Elite, Apollo in Danmachi, Keiji Akashi in Haikyuu, Percival in Grand Blue Fantasy, Blue in Pokemon Masters, Bennett in Genshin, and Xeon in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Eben often talks of Lothian and music.
こんな場所でも眠れるものなのか。こういう時は秘書が仕事をする番か。面倒だ。字を間違えた。 もういい。ドクターのイヤホンで何を流しているのか聞いてみるとするか。リターニアに行ってみたいだと？あれはいいところだぞ。女帝は臣民を我が子のように扱い、健康な者は感染者を兄弟のようにみなし、人々の顔は幸福に満ちている。嘘っぽい。それでいいんだ。平気な顔でこの手の話に合わせられるようになってから、リターニア行きを考えるんだな。リターニア貴族の社交マナー？あれは奥が深いぞ。しつこい平民を黙らせるマナーといい、他の貴族のデマを流布させるマナーといい、いずれも分厚い面の皮を備えている必要がある。私には少々ハードルの高いものだから、詳しく知りたければ丘を渡った方がいい。今日もハイビスカスの当直だから身体検査を延期しないかって？いや、やめておこう。ずっと彼女の当直日を外して調整してもらってることには感謝している。だが、いつまでも彼女を避け続けることはできない。もうこれほど経つのに、まぶたを閉じれば、未だにあのコンサートの惨劇が蘇る。結局私は、逃げられないのだ。ロドスの甲板と同じように、夜になると、ウルティカの塔の頂上も風に吹かれるにはいい場所だ。かつてはあそこで、地上での生活はどれほど幸福なものなのだろうかと夢見たものだが、後に知ったよ。あそこで私が奪われたのは自由だけだが、大地の多くの人々は、自由の他に何一つ持っていないことを。
At E2 level 90 with max trust and potential, Eben has 1,678 HP, 1,602 attack, 135 defense, 20 resistance, a 66-second redeploy time, 23 DP cost, and has a 3-second attack speed. His range is the standard range of a Mystic caster, that being the 3x3 tile grid in front of him. At max trust, he gets plus 150 attack. At max pot, he gets minus 2 DP, plus 52 attack, minus 4 seconds to redeploy, and a buff to his second talent. His first talent, Dynamics, at E2 makes it so that Eben's stored attacks deal 135% damage, and Eben can store 1 extra charge for a total of 4 that's only used against elites and bosses. His second talent, Apogeatura, at E2 pot 4 makes it so that if there are no enemies within a 1.1 tile radius around his target, Eben deals an additional 17% attack as arts damage. Eben has 2 base skills, with one being upgraded at E2. His first base skill, Musicianship, when Eben is assigned to a trading post, for every 1 operator in the dorms, plus 1 perception information. For every 1 perception information, it is converted into 1 soundless resonance. His second base skill, Lingering Melody, is upgraded to Harmony Astray at E2. When Eben is assigned to a trading post, for every 2 soundless resonance, plus 1% order acquisition efficiency. Eben's first skill, Quickening Presto, gains SP over time and is manually triggered. All levels start with 5 SP and last for 5 seconds, with level 7 needing 19 SP to proc, while M3 needs 15. At level 7, Eben's range changes. His attack interval is reduced to 0.6 seconds, and attacks now deal 40% attack as arts damage. At M3, it's a 0.5 second attack interval, and attacks now deal 50% attack as arts damage. His second skill, Desolate Echoes, gains SP over time and is automatically triggered. All levels start with 0 SP, with level 7 needing 14 SP to proc, and M3 needing 13. At level 7, Eben uses all of his stored charges and summons an Old Day Remnant on deployable targets within range, each summon lasting for 30 seconds. The remnants activate when an enemy is within 1.35 tiles of them, dealing 200% attack as arts damage and an AoE attack, dragging nearby enemies to their location as well. At M3, it's 245% attack as arts damage. His third skill, Sound of Silence, gains SP over time and is manually triggered, lasting for 30 seconds at all levels. Level 7 starts with 8 SP and needs 22 SP to proc, while M3 starts with 10 and needs 20. At level 7, Eben gets plus 60 attack speed, plus 50% attack, and only targets elite or boss enemies. The damage boost from Eben's first talent increases to 130% of the original. You can manually deactivate this skill at will. At M3, it's plus 80 attack speed, plus 65% attack, and 140% the damage of his first talent. Eben has 3 modules, starting with his MSC-X module named Originum Dice Case. It makes it so that Eben can now store up to 4 charges, plus the extra charge for elite/bosses for a total of 5. At module level 3, Originum Dice Case fully upgrades Dynamics, making it so that stored attacks deal 143% damage, and he stores an additional charge for elite/bosses. He also gains plus 90 attack and plus 5 attack speed. To unlock and max out all of his modules, you must have Eben at E2 level 60, have 100% trust with him, have 12 module data blocks, 60 data patching strips, 20 data patching devices, and 300,000 LMD per module. To unlock and max out this module, you must defeat a total of 10 elite or leader enemies with your own Eben, 3-star stage 3-7, having your own Eben defeat a heavy defender leader, have 2 crystalline electronic units, 3 D32 steels, and 4 polymerization preparations. His MSC-Y module, named Theory Expositor, makes it so that Eben has a plus 30 attack speed when there are stored attacks. At module level 3, Theory Expositor fully upgrades Apogiratura, making it so that if there are no enemies near Eben's target, an additional 22% attack is dealt as arts damage. Otherwise, his attacks deal 36% attack as arts damage to enemies near the target. He also gets plus 175 HP and plus 135 attack. To unlock and max out this module, you must complete 5 battles with your own Eben, defeating at least 6 enemies, 3-star stage 3-6, having your own Eben defeat the veteran Butcher, have 2 polymerization preparations, 3 D32 steels, and 4 crystalline electronic units. His MSC Delta module, named Lineage of Decay, makes it so that, when Eben deals arts damage, he deals an additional 8% of the damage dealt as necrosis damage. At module level 3, Lineage of Decay fully upgrades Apogiratura, making it so that, if there are no enemies near the target, an additional 32% attack as arts damage is dealt. If the target is under the burst effect of necrosis damage, an additional 30% attack as elemental damage is dealt. To unlock and max out this module, you must have your own Eben use Sound of Silence at least 10 times, 3-star stage 11-12, having your own Eben defeat at least 2 mobile artilleries, have 2 polymerization preparations, 3 crystalline electronic units, and 4 bipolar nanoflakes. Damage per second is obviously not Ebenholz's specialty, but the slow-moving hits that he does put out hit like a goddamn train, especially if they're an elite or a boss enemy. Both talents increase damage towards bosses or elites, kind of for the second since most bosses aren't surrounded by normal enemies. His S1 makes him into a blast caster for 5 seconds, meaning that he can technically run Ifrit lanes. His S2 gives him mines similar to Robin's S2's mines, but they pull instead of push. And his S3 is specifically for dealing with elite and boss enemies, since the attack literally makes him only target those 2. All of his modules are pretty damn good as well, with his X module giving him an extra charge and therefore more damage, Y module letting him attack quicker and deal splash damage, and Delta module giving him necrosis damage similar to Logos' module or Virtuoso's passive. The downsides are pretty glaring, however, the most obvious of which being the comparison of his damage between the standard and elite/boss enemies. Eben can store up to 5 charges just for those boss or elite enemies, while standards just have up to 3, maybe 4, depending on the module. Not to mention his S3 being completely useless against them. His attack speed is extremely slow, and it will be difficult for Eben to get the full 4 to 5 charges if there's a constant stream of enemies in his range. His S2, while better deployed against standard enemies, does also have the pitfall of relying on open tiles for the remnants to deploy on. Overall, Eben makes for a great boss killer if you want a boss killed in one hit rather than over time like with more DPS oriented operators. Outside of boss stages or stages with a lot of elite enemies, you're probably not going to find much use for him, since DPS is typically the name of the game when it comes to clearing stages. Medium, maybe medium-low priority to build. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Azure Lane and Girls Frontline videos as well. Come back tomorrow for next week's character teasers.